The first night after I used this, I looked at my face. I'm like, wait a minute. How is this possible? Like, it looks better.
This video is not sponsored.
I wasn't sure if this was actually going to help me, but I was desperate to stop being blinded by my oily skin. So it wasn't just like aesthetically, my skin was like really oily, like so oily that you could see like the oil coming out of the individual pores, like on a greasy pizza. It wasn't just about that. I mean, I didn't love that, but it was mostly about the fact that, you know, I couldn't really see properly and I kind of like to see things. My skin was so oily that by the end of the day, the oil would seep into my eyes and it would blur my vision and burn my eyeballs. As the sun went down, so did the tears upon my face from my eyeballs being burnt out of my eyeballs. My eyeballs being burnt out of my eyeballs. Well, you know what I mean. It burned and it hurt, but I'm glad we got here today. I'm gonna help you. If your eyeballs are burning, maybe they're not burning, maybe you're just oily and you want to know like what I did to become less oily. This is the end of the day. Usually I look super shiny, so shiny that you'd be able to see the reflection of the camera in my face. But today, do you see? Are we oily? No, my skin looks pretty normal right now, and I'm gonna share with you why that is. During the spring Sephora sale, I was able to save a few bucks on some products that I probably wouldn't have bought otherwise because they're pretty expensive, and to spend that kind of money and then have it not work, or even worse, have it like break you out or like give you a rash. It's just a gamble whenever you try something new. So it's nice when you can get a deal when you want to try some new products. So the Sephora sale is a great time to try out some new stuff. I don't know when the next sale is, but I'm sure they have them like a few times a year. So anyway, during the Sephora sale, I took the plunge and decided to purchase these products that I otherwise probably would have not purchased because they're very expensive. Yeast water. You heard me, yeast water. But this yeast water has a very strong following, and I was intrigued by the story and the popularity of it, and I really wanted to give it a try and see what magic can it do for me. Pitera. Pitera is the strain of yeast that is in these products that does all of the magic. The elderly brewers at a yeast factory, the elderly brewers at a sake factory in Japan, they all had wrinkled, aged faces, but their hands were soft and youthful. So this led to a whole series of investigating experiments to figure out what is causing this. And after millions of strains were tested, they've discovered the Pitera yeast, which is what is in these products. And I haven't even mentioned what the product is yet. So the product that I'm talking about is SK2, the facial treatment essence, and this is the facial treatment clear lotion. Pitera is the active ingredient that is in SK2. I feel like that's what's been transforming my face over the last month that I've been using it. And believe me, I put these guys to the test to see how good is it really? Can it go up against all of the factors that would usually make my skin break out? Can it hold its own? I decided to get the starter kit that contained the facial treatment essence and the facial treatment clear lotion. And it came with a face cream. I should probably go get that so I can show you. So it also came with this face cream. I haven't tried it yet because I'm still working on another bottle of face cream, but once I do use it, I can give you guys a little update to see what I think of that. The first time I used the treatments, it was a very unique experience because this stuff is like putting water on your face. And I've never put on a product on my face that wasn't like a cream or like a gel or a serum. It was just like water. So I start with the facial treatment clear lotion and I just pour it into my hands, and then I put it onto my face, let it dry a little bit, and then I follow up with the facial treatment essence again. It's like water. And then I put that onto my face, and it just feels so good. Like I look forward to my night routine. And then after I put it on, I feel like my skin just looks better, like almost instantly. So I feel like this stuff has like instant effects and long-term effects. It just gives my skin like a really nice natural glow. It's a shame that I only put it on night, but I only really wash my face at night. This helps to save the product because like I said, it's expensive. So only using it once a day has been good. Twice a day might be better, but have not really been doing that yet. The first night after I used this, I woke up the next day and I kid you not, I looked at my face, I'm like, wait a minute, how is this possible? Like it looks better. Like I've never used like a serum or a cream that like I noticed a difference the next day. Like usually me noticing something, it's like, oh, I didn't get a rash. Oh, I didn't break out. Like it didn't do anything really that bad. But this actually did something noticeably positive, like overnight. My skin felt softer, it felt smoother. I was just like, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued, but I still want to put it to the test. So after a week of using this, my skin texture dramatically improved. Especially in the summertime, I find that my skin could get a little bit bumpy, not quite as soft. And I was noticing that this was starting to subside. It was starting to go down. The bumps were starting to disappear. Definitely didn't have any new breakouts. My skin was starting, texture-wise, to look better. It looked juicy, it looked plumped, it looked like hydrated but not greasy. And the oiliness of my skin, after a week, the burn went away, guys. The oil stopped getting in my eyes because my skin every single day was getting less and less oily and more normal. It was just insane. Like it fixed my, like balanced out my face or something, like made it normal. So I was speechless, just what? Where have you been all my life? Like I said, I was putting the products to the test by eating things that would normally cause me a lot of skin problems. I was eating all the sweets, all the sugar. If you haven't already seen my video talking about hyperpigmentation and fading dark spots, I talked a little bit about what my skin triggers are, and one of them is eating a lot of sugar. And I was eating a ton of sugar, and I was eating it right before my period, and that is like a recipe for pimples for me, like really bad breakouts. And you know what, guys? You know what happened? I didn't get a single pimple during the period of using this. And up until this day, I haven't had any issues. I was shocked. Every day I would look and see like, okay, I'm ready for the pimple. Where is it? Didn't come. It not only balanced out my oil production, it not only improved my skin texture, but it also helped prevent breakouts. My main goal was to fix my oily situation, and it definitely fixed that, but it fixed so many other problem areas that I wasn't even like thinking about, like the texture thing. Before I started using it, I got this pimple that left some hyperpigmentation. So I would say that it's really good for the oily thing. It's really good for preventing pimples. It's really good for texture. But in terms of fading hyperpigmentation, I would say the Ole Henriksen that I talked about in the fading my hyperpigmentation video is much more effective with fading dark spots. So if that's your issue, then that's probably something that might be better for you. The Ole Henriksen dark spot toner. But other than that, this stuff has been great. I was hoping that this stuff wouldn't live up to the hype. Like as much as I wanted it to work, I also didn't really want it to work because it's expensive, like really expensive. This is definitely worth the investment for me because of how quickly it improved my skin and for the fact that my skin survived a 2-week-long sugar feast. Round of applause for you, SK2. Some things are overhyped. Some things are overrated, but for me, this stuff works. So I'll probably continue to use it for, the next 100 years, and then we can see if the anti-aging benefits hold true. Stay tuned for that. Coming to a YouTube channel near you 100 years from now. Hello, my beautiful friends. Amanda here, and I'm still using the SK2 Pitera Essence. And I look exactly the same, but for some reason my voice is a little bit different because it has been 100 years. Still using it, still loving it, and yeah, I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. They